it's just a blessing. Every time I get to drive a race car is a blessing. I know what it's like to not be in this sport, and here we are qualifying in the second round of Daytona.
How's it going, y'all? Welcome to Out of the Groove. I am joined now by NASCAR Xfinity Series driver and longtime friend of the show and of the channel, Ryan Vargas. Good to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited for Talladega. Big weekend ahead.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to talk all about that in a moment. But before we talk about a potential big one at Talladega, I got to ask you, did you ever figure out those Heelys I saw you with a couple weeks ago?
So they're actually here. I'm at the shop right now. I brought them with me. And
You're still practicing?
I was healing back and forth on the setup plate, so we'll see how that goes.
I saw you with those, and it reminded me of like a childhood flashback when I begged my mom for Heelys, and then I got them, and I didn't realize they were really hard to like get the hang of. And I'm pretty sure my mom ended up returning them because I just gave up and I wasn't putting in the necessary practice. So anyway, we're not here to talk about my traumatic childhood. We're here to talk about you, your season, and Talladega coming up. So I know the Xfinity Series just had the week off for Easter, but what do you think of Bristol Dirt? I saw you were there in person. Like, would you ever want to see the Xfinity Series race there at some point?
You know, I'm kind of like torn on it because here's the thing. I 100% understand the reasoning as to why we're running dirt on Bristol. You know what I mean? Like, and I had this conversation with a fan actually at Bristol. You know, the spring race, it wasn't a thing of the product or anything. Like, the product was still good. It's still Bristol. The only thing is it just kind of became another race. The spring date did. It just became another NASCAR race. And so it needed its own identity versus the night race in the fall. And I think the dirt race definitely accomplishes that. I know we all kind of think maybe it'd be cool to see it on like an actual, long-standing dirt track. Yeah. But for what it is, I thought the show on Sunday was great. I know the red flags definitely hindered the excitement throughout the event, but overall, I mean, I was there. I was there with my friends at KSDT, and they welcomed us to watch the race, and it was one of the better Cup races I've attended. It's probably one of the top 10 Cup races I've attended. Not top 10 that I've watched ever, but top that I've attended. It was just fun. I enjoyed myself. And do I see Xfinity doing it? I'm sure they'll find a way to put us on dirt eventually. I don't know where or when, but regardless, I think it'd be a fun race.
Have you ever raced on dirt before? Like, do you have much experience?
No, I have about 15 laps in a legend car at Millbridge. I did just buy a go-kart, though.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Got to start somewhere. Well, you got time until next year or the year, whenever it maybe inevitably happens. Speaking of that Cup Series dirt race, obviously ended with contact, some controversy there. Last time we saw the Xfinity Series race, and I haven't had the chance to really talk to you since then, we had a couple of young drivers brawling on pit road. So I wanted to ask you, have you ever been in a physical altercation with somebody after a race?
No, I've had people want to. I've had people come up to me saying, like, wanting to fight me. And I'm just like, the thing is, like, I'm not that guy. Like, if I get that mad, you've definitely messed up. I've been angry before. I've yelled and gotten close with someone. But, I mean, it's never been to the point where I've actually had to start shoving and punching. But, we're at the beginning of my career, so you never know.
You don't want to say never or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you typically, like, when you've wronged a driver or somebody's wronged you, more importantly, and like you get out of the car afterwards, like, how do you handle that? I've heard different drivers say, maybe I expect a text if it was an accident or on purpose. Like, you expect different things. Do you expect a phone call? Like, how do you typically solve little disputes like that?
The last thing I want to have immediately following a race is the person act like it never happened. Like, I don't want to get out of the car and the person who just took me out just walk away. Like, no, you just dumped me. You ruined my race. Come over and talk to me. Let's talk about this right now. Because at the end of the day, you doing that just shows that you don't respect what our team does, what the hours these guys literally here, are putting in on these race cars. I had a discussion very recently about that. I got out of my car and went and talked directly to a driver because I was like, dude, what the heck? We're running, 25th, 26th, and we're running over each other. Like, what are we doing here? And it's just, it's better to get these things out and talk about them. Even if it is heat in the moment, you don't say the things you exactly want to say. I feel like it's better just to say it than keep it in and just let it fester.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about Talladega coming up. You've got a new sponsor this weekend, Hempvana on the car. We'll talk about the race itself, but can you first tell us a little bit about how this new deal came to fruition?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a great opportunity. The folks at Hempvana, they were very interested on jumping on board at Talladega. They are the #1 fastest growing hemp pain relief cream, and their product is the proof's in the pudding. They're fast acting, all of that stuff, and they're available at Walmart. That's the big thing. Is you can go to Walmart, you can go online, you can check out all this stuff. It's a great product, and I'm very excited to represent the brand.
Yeah, and it's a good-looking car as well. We'll talk about your strategy this weekend a little bit. I know your team always looks at super speedway racing as a great opportunity, and you finished, I think, 12th, 18th this year at the two. Atlanta counts as a super speedway in my book. There's a lot of debate this year about that, actually, with Atlanta Motor Speedway becoming a pack race. How do you feel about adding a third super speedway track to the schedule?
And my whole thoughts on the Atlanta change is this: Atlanta needed a repave, plain and simple. I will sit here and tell you that I enjoyed driving in the old Atlanta more. You know what I mean? I'll sit here all day and say that. But with what they did with the track to turn it into the close, tight quarter racing like a super speedway, I think that was the best move they could have done for that facility, because we can't risk losing Atlanta. Atlanta has so much history in this sport. If we go there and repave it and have 5, 6, 10 years of bad racing because of a new track surface, people may lose interest in the place, and then you start looking at exactly. It could become that, or it could become Kentucky, what it is today. Yeah. I mean, look at Kentucky; they repaved it, and now it's not on the schedule anymore, and that's a bummer because that race sold out in its first few races. So, and even the most recent year, like 2019, that place was packed. So it's like it's a stinker to see that. So my biggest thing is, with what they did with Atlanta was the best thing they could have done. Now, do I want every mile and a half to be that? Absolutely not. I think we need to go the route of kind of like what Homestead did with the progressive banking on these mile and a halves, get us up against the wall, give us lanes to choose from. But I think Atlanta was a good step in the right direction to showing like, hey, we can put on a good product on a new track surface. And I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't have fun. That was a blast. That race was. I mean, it was such a weird feeling being on a mile and a half and being inches apart from each other like a super speedway. My running joke of the weekend, I called the track Atlanta Super Duper Speedway just because it's not a super speedway, but it's not a mile and a half. It's still a mile and a half, but it races like a super speedway, so I just called it a Super Duper Speedway.
I like that. Were you surprised at all that it raced as pack-like as it did?
Yeah. I anticipated handling to be a little more of a factor. I thought as tires wore, you would see somewhat like you saw last year with the 550 package with the Cup Series cars. Mm-hmm. I anticipated that. I think a lot of us anticipated that just because of the fact, well, you can't take turning radius out of a racetrack. You could give it more banking, but you can't take the radius of the corner. Daytona and Talladega have the benefit of the corner being very wide, very long. Atlanta, it's a lot tighter. So I was anticipating the right front to wear off or the right rear to wear off a lot quicker than they did. And that's kind of a testament to kind of like what NASCAR did. They gave us a kind of a hybrid of what you bring to the super speedway, but also what you have to bring to a mile and a half.
They figured it out somehow. Well, from one super speedway to the next, I do want to talk about Talladega. You've got a clean, mean green Hempvana Chevrolet. What's your strategy look like this weekend, if you're allowed to tell us?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I see you guys. I see you, Darian, Jared, all these guys at the track. And I always say one word, and that is vibe. You want to vibe in these races. That's kind of my strategy. You know, if we find ourselves in contention for maybe stage points or whatever, then it is what it is. But, you know, at the end of the day, the last 20 laps of the race are where you need to put yourself in position. And in February, we did an okay job of it. We got ourselves stuck in the second pack with like 10 to go. And then we finally caught the lead pack with like 3 to go. But by then, you kind of made your bed at that point. I think with what we showed at February in Daytona, we have the speed. We have the cars capable of, you know, knocking on the door of a top 10. I mean, heck, Atlanta, we almost did finish top 10. I think we can go out there with high expectations. It's a great feeling to have that. You know, these guys, they bust their tails to give me a good super speedway car, and we've done that the 2 super speedway races we've had this year. So pretty excited about that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I remember being there at Daytona when you guys put up, what was it, the third fastest lap in the first round of qualifying? That was awesome. That was cool to see.
And it was so funny to me. Like my favorite thing about that is, and it was, you have me and my 4 crew guys. We're sitting there like all like kind of stoked and stuff, and then you see like some of the bigger teams sitting there with like 5 engineers tapping on a computer. Like, why the heck?
They got their protractors out there.
Yeah, they're like, what is going on? It just felt good. Like it, and that just shows what this team is capable of. You know, when we do, you know, have the resources and we're able to go out there and, you know, put the time in and make these things right. I mean, that car was a fantastic, not just by itself, it drafted amazing. And we're taking that same car to Talladega. So I'm very excited about that.
Very exciting indeed. Well, we'll be looking out for you. It'll be easy to spot that paint scheme on track. Hey, thanks for joining me this morning, Ryan. Good luck this weekend. We'll be watching.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching, and thank you again to Ryan for taking time out of his busy schedule to come on the show. Pretty cool looking Hempvana Chevrolet he's got for this weekend at Talladega. Again, you can find Hempvana at Walmart. Supporting them helps support Ryan, so be sure to check them out. I'll see you guys again later this weekend. Talladega is going to be exciting as always. I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.